I might be on the road, I'm not gonna lie. No? Yeah. Oh, that might be on the road. Yeah, that crested the hill. We'll see.
There's 3 keys to disc golf: driving, approaching, and putting. You need all 3 to do this sport.
What is up, guys? We're out here at South Park today. Just gonna be doing a little bit of practice out on the course, maybe even gonna hit the field across the street. Basically, since the preserve week and when Anthony was here and we were doing the collab videos, since then I've played probably the least amount of disc golf in like a 2-week span that I've played in maybe like the last year. Mainly because I've just been super busy finishing up the van and really just trying to like wrap everything up here in Minnesota before we hit the road. I've played maybe 4 total rounds in that time, and like half of those rounds being 9 holes. So it's safe to say the game is basically feeling horrible. So I'm basically just gonna be out here today practicing disc golf. I don't actually get to practice a ton because I feel like when I'm out here, I'm not really focusing on like the disc golf, I'm focusing more on the content. I feel like that's been really detrimental to my actual disc golf game. I have not felt very in control of my shots lately, which is something that I don't like because I like to think that I'm pretty damn good at throwing a Frisbee, and right now, I just don't really feel like that. And something I haven't actually like touched on, I don't think maybe at all, is this slight little like form change I'm working on right now. Oh, that was horrible. That was nice. Also, before we get into it, if you missed the last video or you didn't see, the Frisbee Club embroidered trucker hat, and I'm not wearing it, but the embroidered t-shirt are live. The website link to order will be the first one down in the description. Guys, all of you that have ordered so far, thank you so much for the support. If you haven't got one and you want one, go snag them up. But back to the little like form thing, I guess, is a lot of you know that I was dealing with some elbow issues for quite some time. And one of the only ways I really felt like I could combat those elbow issues, other than obviously the workouts that I've been doing, was a slight form change. Bro. So some of you guys might have not even noticed the form change because it probably was very subtle, but it was the type of form change where I was not throwing as far. I felt like I had less like torque on the disc. I call it like I had less of a hit point on my throw. And now that I basically have no pain in my elbow, I wanted to get back into my original form that I feel much more confident in when it comes to like actually powering on a disc and getting like that, I wouldn't call it elite level like power and distance, but like for me, like where I feel like I can get a level above a lot of amateur disc golfers is like my power and my spin rate and all that. And with this old form, not the old form, but with the form that I was using when my elbow hurt, I just felt like I didn't have that. So when my elbow was hurt and I was kind of throwing like this, I call it like my swoopy form, where it's kind of like that. And it still works well. Like I can still hit some good angles, hit some lines. I do feel like I almost maybe have more touch, which is a good thing because if I want to go back to using that style of form, I can. So this is kind of like my original form and my form for when my elbow actually feels good. So as you can probably see, like that throw wasn't great, but it's a lot more of like a hit right at the end there. And then there's one more thing that I've incorporated as well that I'll talk about on the next hole. We're also just gonna be throwing a few forehands on every hole today, because guys, I think what it was is like I've been trying to be like way too mechanical with my forehand lately, like really like keep it in line and hit it, where I just need to be a fucking athlete and not throw it like a jackass. My own words, but I've been throwing like a jackass. A couple Teslas. The blue one is a beef dog. The white one flips up real nice. I'm lucky enough to have learned a lot and been playing long enough, so when it comes to form changes, especially on backhands, I feel like I can adapt very fast. Like I could change my form completely and feel pretty confident in the results of it very, very fast because I just feel like I know how a disc flies and I know how to make my body make it fly good. So since I went back to like my more original form, I guess, I'm gonna show you the one more thing that I've incorporated that I feel like when I dial it in is gonna be very, very beneficial. So now I'm gonna show you guys kind of like the side profile of kind of what I've been working on. So this is like my normal form. And in my head, I guess when I throw that, I'm pretty like standing upright. Like I don't have much like lean forward into it, which I think is an issue, especially for like the heel rotation, which is something that I've never had, but I want to get because I have a lot of lower back and hip problems. So when I hit, I don't rotate on my heel, but rotating on the heel takes this whole piece of your body and rotates it through like smooth without putting torque onto your joints and stuff like that. So for me, I feel like it's bad for my body that I'm not really rotating. I'm more like coiling up right over top of myself, which hurts my lower back and my hip, to say the least. So basically what I'm trying to do is keep the same form with the upper body and then get my timing to cue up with almost an extended like lunge forward. If you watch a lot of the best throwers in the world, they have a very good like lunge forward while they're going back and then rotate on the heel. And I feel like if I can break through and like connect the timing with that and make that consistent, I could unlock a lot more distance and less pain on my body is honestly the biggest thing. So like that has so much more like torque on the throw. And as you can see, I really tried to like over exaggerate that step through. So one more time, I'll show you. This is like my normal, which is like a very, that might go in, which is like a very, I feel like upright throw. Like when I'm hitting, I'm not really like in an athletic stance, I guess. I'm really like stood straight up over my foot, I guess. So I'm really gonna try and overextend here. I also have a very short run up with my normal form. Like it's like a, what would you call it? It's like a stutter, boom, 1, 2 step almost, which I like because it keeps my body in a lot of control. I lose a lot of accuracy when I start like actually doing a run up, but I think this extended step could add distance and keep the control. So all 4 of those shots were very good in terms of consistency, basically through the exact same just hyzer dead straight line. So that's nice. The extended like lunge through throw, I get snap on my disc. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but when I throw my normal backhand, my hands, like my fingers don't snap on the disc, which I know doesn't necessarily matter, but I like to think the players who have a lot of snap, think of like Drew, who has a ton of snap, it's because you're fucking snapping the shit out of the disc. Like it's kind of just how it is, I think. And when I do the extended leg, I feel less torque on my body, and I feel like I'm getting to a spot where I'm gonna start maybe rotating on my heel a little more, which is something I really wanted to work on for a long time. So I know my channel isn't necessarily focused on like me actually, well, maybe it is, I don't know, but it's not really focused in my eyes as like me on an actual like player. I just play disc golf, but I don't talk much about like, I feel like my actual game and like what I'm working on, which is something that I want to actually do more of in the future because believe it or not, I want to get back into the competitive side of disc golf and actually really like try and take this game super serious for a year while like making the content and really like step up my level as a player in terms of like consistency and just get better. Especially because I feel like I've always been like a pretty solid thrower of the disc. So I've never really like worked on it a ton and actually like changed things and really like stuck to a plan to bring myself from what I think is a pretty good level of thrower to like a really good level, I guess. It's crazy how when you just start being an athlete and just not worry about your form, 'cause I guess for me, like I literally just like flick the wrist and it works so much better. Go in the hole. This one's not going to a basket. I'm just gonna really try a nice smooth fairway driver shot here. Like Guys, that throw right there was like one of the best feeling throws I've had in so long. Even though halfway through that throw, in my head, all I'm thinking is like drive the front leg forward. And so like my mind isn't even on where the disc is gonna go, but I think focusing on driving that front leg literally makes my form so much better that it's like hard to not throw a good shot. And the biggest thing for me is not throwing and having like pain. And when I extend that front leg like that, I have no pain in my throw. Whereas when I don't do that, my hip and my lower right back basically hurt almost every time I throw the disc. So we might have found a breakthrough. So I just threw this old Glow DX Eagle. This hole's I think 346 uphill. I'm about 40 feet deep, maybe 45. So we're sitting right around like what 390 uphill with a DX Eagle on an absolute smash, but like not overthrowing. Like that was just a smooth shot. That it's just like that one form cue. I feel like it's gonna change everything. Just gotta stick to it. The one thing I have yet to try with this little form cue, because I've literally played 2 rounds since kind of putting it into work, I guess, is like not power shots, I guess, not necessarily full power, but like this hole's like 200 something feet. Can I still do the full extended leg? Not that I even like have to do that to get it here, but I want to throw without pain. See that one, my timing felt a little off because I was trying to like keep it slow. See, even just that little toss there, which is perfect pace, parked, full extension, maybe not quite full extension like I did on that drive, but a little more extension on the end, doesn't hurt. I do feel that when I hit the timing right on this full extension throw, it feels so much better, so much more power and like forward motion. Whereas I feel like when I'm kind of jammed up top, everything kind of like I throw and it feels like I'm just throwing the shit out of the disc. I feel like my body's not actually generating as much power like forward as it should be, because I'm not like allowing, because my body's kind of like stopping right up here. We're gonna try a little forehand flex. Yeah. Oh, I love it. You know, guys, this disc golf content game is a very like fast moving thing. You got to be on top of things. You got to, you know, be talking about what's relevant for the most part. I feel like you got to be putting out a lot of content. And it's one of them things that sometimes like around like right now, what I'm doing is just slowing it back down, actually thinking through what I'm doing, taking the time. A lot of times when I'm filming, not a single thought goes through my head other than like, oh, slight like hyzer, throw this. It's like, you know, it's like I'm not actually like putting time into my throws and really being like, all right, what angle am I trying to hit here? What speed, what spin rate? What am I really trying to do here? It's more of just like going out, chucking frisbees and making content, which in turn, I feel like has made me play fucking horrible. So we're actually headed across the street from the course right now to the old, my old elementary school. There's a decent sized field over here, maybe 400, 450 worth of length here, and maybe only 150 worth of like side to side. So kind of makes you actually keep them in line. We're gonna be doing a little bit of field work, guys. I know I say like I don't do much field work, so I figured this video is a perfect time to like come work on a little bit of these form cues, kind of see what we can do. This is actually like a beautiful little spot too, because I can throw right here from the shade, not absolutely die. What the fuck? We're just gonna take all my frizz, throw them, see if I actually know what I'm talking about. We're gonna try and release them on a slight hyzer, because that's my natural release. That's the finish line pace. Absolute beauty. I really tried to yeet on that. God, those go a mile. JJP2 absolutely beat. Look at that thing. Oh my gosh. Guys, beat up P2s are the best flying late turn putter you'll ever fucking get. Couple forehands. The old knot zone, absolute beauty. The slightly more stable one. And the way more stable. When I throw like an athlete, it works, it's crazy. Flippiest to most stable mid-range lineup. Here we go. We got the KC Pro flat top rock. Pretty much gonna fly identical to the JJP2. But go further. Gosh. Oh, man. I haven't had a rock in the bag in a minute, and they're so good. Banana club should be slightly more stable than the blue guy. Oh, doesn't matter when you throw it like a jackass. Secret mid-range, that's going back in the bag. See if you can guess what it is. It's so damn good. Why would I throw a buzz when there's that? And then, of course, Birdie Supply Ultra. Use code Frisbee Club, save you 10% off on the website. That one's brand new, so she's a little bit of a beef dog. Yeah. A little more beef on her. I would almost went further though. Yeah. That's a Thunderbird flight. Slight flip up, push. Let's compare. That's a Pro Thunderbird, but like an older one, so like a little bit better plastic. We're gonna compare it to the old yellow Firebird right now. Yeah, the Firebird still has a little more stability, but definitely glidey for a Firebird. We're gonna Old Star Wraith. This is actually a 12-speed Star Wraith. If you know, you know. I'm gonna try and hit this on just a mash of a hyzer flip up, full extension with the front leg. Wow. That was beautiful. Guys, we got the current fairway lineup here. Eagle L, flippiest. FD, straightest. FD1, a little bit overstable. See how this eagle flies? This thing should go a fucking mile. Gosh. That feels so much more efficient than like how I'm throwing before. I almost feel like I have like a lag, but it's like a good lag where when I do the full extension, I'm like, my arm is like waiting backwards for my front leg to like push through. So it's like arm is extended back and I'm like floating through the air, almost like waiting for it to drop and go boom. And like, that's where it all hits. We're gonna go FD1 on like a flex shot. That's kind of been my main use for this, is those fairway shots where you need to like tip them on a little Annie, have them push out and come back. I also throw just stock hyzers with it, but one of my favorite new discs. Yeah, not quite the height I needed, but the consistency of the push on that, love it. Last couple throws, we got the Scorpius, which is kind of like the stable workhorse distance driver. We got the PFN Star Destroyer, which is like the flip up max distance. And then we have a Nuke OS in here right now, because I realized while I was out at the preserve that you need something that you know isn't gonna turn. And with this, that just doesn't have the stability. And so something like this, old pop top Nuke OS, this thing's absolutely beef right now, but if I can start beating it in, Nuke OS's that are beat in fly amazing. I might be on the road, I'm not gonna lie. No, yeah, oh, that might be on the road. Yeah, that crest of the hill, we'll see. Oh my gosh, if that goes onto the road again, oh my, that was a smash. Oh, guys, I think I just had a breakthrough. I think I learned how to throw backhand today. Oh, I hope when I watch this footage back, I actually notice a change like in my form, because I'm feeling it on all the throws. All right, guys, Nuke OS. We're gonna try and put this on some Annie. I've only thrown it a couple times since putting it back in the bag, and mainly just on chop over forehands. So I don't really know how this is gonna throw, but I've wanted to start like working with it a little bit. Okay, so absolute beef, but that actually went decently far. So I am very happy with that. Guys, that was actually so much fun. And for throwing what, every distance, I probably got like 25 discs in the bag right now, maybe even 30. I feel pretty solid. Like the body feels good. Like the alignment of my timing on most of those throws was very solid. They felt nice, flew really good. If the Destroyer and Scorpius are out on the road, I don't know what this field measures in at, but it's pretty damn far. I think I just unlocked like 50 more feet of distance. I'm not gonna lie. Scorpius on the road, both of them. Let's go. Please do not run this thing over. Oh, I would have been so fucking pissed. Destroyer on the road. Scorpius on the road. Guys, those are absolute mashes. So we actually pulled up U-disc. We're gonna go measure this throw, see what it comes in at. Hopefully it's like actually far and not just like 450 feet. And I'm like, I still suck, but we'll see. So the disc was right here. Set, start, bang. We're going this way. You know, guys, a lot of people have asked me like, Brad, how far do you throw? And I'm always just like, I actually don't know, because there's holes out on the disc golf course. They're like 450 feet and I'll like park them on a hyzer. So I'm like, okay, if I can throw a 450 foot hyzer, I should be able to throw 500 with a hyzer flip up or distance line. And then there's like 500 foot holes where I throw them and I'm like 100 short. And I'm like, when am I like, how far can I throw? And obviously not all what the fuck do you call it? Not all holes are actually measured accurately. So you could be thinking, oh, I'm throwing a 450 foot hyzer all these years, and it's like 380 feet, just because the people who measured the hole like took no time, or they weren't even disc golfers. They're just like, oh, it's, you know what I mean? A lot of variables. So I have no fucking clue. I like to think I can throw decently far, not elite distance by any means, but I would say for like amateur disc golfer, definitely in like the top percentage. 400 right there. This also was just like a pure hyzer flip up to flat, so not the worst. Completely flat, so no like downhill or anything. We got 480 feet. Hopefully that's in focus. 480 on a nice like hyzer flip up. So to be honest, I was hoping that was like 500 feet, but 480, not too bad, I guess. I think if I hit like a big old turnover distance line, I could definitely get them over 500 then, but not very consistent. I feel like the shot I threw there is like somewhat consistent, I guess. So I would say that like 450 foot like hyzer, like flip up hyzer shot is definitely something I would say I'm pretty confident in. If you ordered a hat, a shirt, thank you so much. If you haven't and you didn't know about it and want to go get one, support me, thank you so much. Go check it out. First link in the description. Guys, thanks for watching. We will see you in the next one. Fuck. Whew.